All right. Welcome to the call. We are going to talk about nutrition today and how nutrition and mindset and using some of the products and programs that we already have as we are developing these habits of truly starting to track our nutrition, track our workouts, track our personal development, and track our connectivity with others within our Beachbody group. So today, when we talk about nutrition, it's one of those things that there's a lot of information out there. I can remember going from Pinterest board to Pinterest board, clipping little magazine clippings out of like these healthy shape magazines and eating well magazines, and all sorts of things, trying to figure out this nutrition aspect and trying to figure it out in a way that like made sense, where I wasn't having to go figure out like what kefir was in the grocery store or something that it was like, I've never heard of quinoa, which now that's like a common thing. But at the time when I was starting to look at nutrition, there wasn't a whole lot out there that was that really made sense when it talked about healthier foods. It felt like that was stuff that like people in California had and nobody else had at this time. So this was like backtrack about 10 years ago, back in 2010, when it really was harder to find the organic produce, the farmers markets, and it wasn't as easy. So when I began my nutrition journey, it really was clipping together a whole bunch of different things and then figuring out what did my grocery store actually sell. Thankfully, now there's a really good amount of grocery stores that sell really great products, really great produce. There's co-ops, there's the farmers markets, there's where you can get like the fruit and veggies all brought to you from the farmers market in a CSA. So there's options for your health, but how do you actually pair that together with the Beachbody nutrition plans? And how do you know which one is working for you, if it is working, and how long do you stick with it before you decide, did it work or did it not work? So what I'm going to try to do today is really help make some clarifications over the two nutrition programs and give some just guidance of how long do we stick to one before we say, okay, it's time to try something a little bit different. So when you first start out your journey, you are given packet, you're given information, and it's like Beachbody's Guide to Nutrition. And you know that there's a Beachbody Guide to Nutrition, but yet there's also these two nutritional programs, which are Ultimate Portion Fix and 2B Mindset. Well, how do you know which one is right for you? Honestly, just go to the nutrition tab and watch the introduction to nutrition videos. By hearing Autumn talk and by hearing Ilana talk, most of the time in those short, like 5-minute videos that they have, you'll understand if one person is a better fit for you than the other. You're either repelled by Autumn because she is just like in your face and bold, or you are attracted to her because you're like, dude, she's just to the point and bold. Or with Ilana, you're like, man, she's either like, it's just too loose. It's just like, she's so nice and she's so sweet and she's so kind seeming, but it's just not structured enough for me. And so just making that simple establishment for yourself is going to help so much, because like I said, you get this Beachbody Guide to Nutrition. That's just clean eating. That Beachbody Guide to Nutrition is just basic recipes and clean eating to help you get started. But when you really want to dive into nutrition, you need to follow one of the two nutrition programs, whether that is, like I said, Ultimate Portion Fix or 2B Mindset. And most of the time, I will tell you, most of the time, the people that I personally attract start with Portion Fix, because again, that's just my target market. I don't really want to even say target market. It's just who I relate to the most. It's normally people like myself who aren't necessarily not already eating clean, like they're already eating pretty clean, but they just need the guidance of how much food to eat. And most of the time, what I've found is everybody is very similar to where I was. I realized like, wow, this is a lot of food I should be eating. And I really honestly haven't been eating enough, but I was definitely eating some Pop-Tarts in there, switched in a couple times a week. And I was definitely eating, more of those bread carbs rather than some of these healthier carbs like the beans and the quinoa. Or I wasn't really eating enough fruit and definitely wasn't eating enough vegetables, even though I liked vegetables just fine before Beachbody. I do have some people that don't like them, and that's okay. We do have a lot of recipes. I have one of my very successful coaches that had joined with this team whose literal only vegetable that she would eat was her spinach blended up in her shake and carrots. She literally hated all other vegetables, even when she tried to cook them. Like she just really didn't like them. And she lost her weight. After both of her babies, she was pretty darn healthy. And, she did really well with her business and helping other people, even though she really, truly only liked two vegetables. She would follow Portion Fix and she's just like, I just eat a lot of carrots. And while I wouldn't say that that's like the healthiest thing to do, if that's where you have to start, then that's where you have to start. And just moving forward from there and finding recipes that will work for you. 1 second. This is my school. Let me just double check this really quick. Okay, sorry. I was like, I'm getting text messages from school. It was about the bus. We're good. Just wanted to make sure I didn't need to go to pick up the kid or something like that. So when it comes to our nutrition programs, I really believe solidly in the fact that this habit tracker, what we're doing in October, how we're following our habit and we're tracking our meals, that's what you need to do. You need to start learning one of the nutrition programs. Yes, absolutely. And how best to learn them. There's 2 different ways to learn Portion Fix. Only one way to learn 2B Mindset. I'll dive into that in a second. But follow it for the full 21 days or 30 days, kind of depending on really where you're at. Because within 3 weeks, you should start to feel like, okay, I'm either like getting it and it might still be kind of hard, and I'm liking it enough to keep doing it, or, okay, I really don't like it. I'm really not understanding it. I want to try that other nutrition program. And so that's really, like I say, 3 weeks, maybe 4 before you really switch anything up. And even when you are in Ultimate Portion Fix. So like I said, Ultimate Portion Fix, you can learn it 2 different ways. The 2 different ways to learn Ultimate Portion Fix are, 1, so both of these programs, when you go, if you have BODI, or it's currently called Nutrition Plus, but it's moving over to the format BODI, BODI. If you have a BODI membership, then you have access to both the nutrition programs in their digital form, in video format. So I want most people to start there, because I just want you to, again, meet and see Autumn and Alana and decide who's best for you. And then go through the first couple videos of, for example, Ultimate Portion Fix. Go through those first couple videos that you are in Rail 1 is what they call it, and learn the introduction to nutrition from Autumn. Learn about the containers, about taking your measurements from Autumn, and really starting to implement that again for 3 weeks. Now, maybe you are not a visual learner, and doing that and following the videos aren't the best for you. The other place to really learn this nutrition path is in the 21-day fix. So if you go to 21-day fix or 21-day fix real time, you can go on the program materials from your computer and click on the program materials and get the eating plan. And you can start to visually read and start to digest that and learn the program. With Elana's, you can't. Elana's are video based. Yes, there's a booklet that goes with them, which, depending on your pack, you may or may not get her booklet. You may have to order it separately, but hers are all video based if you are doing 2B Mindset. So again, it's just taking that time to learn it is so vital. When I first started coaching, there was no Ultimate Portion Fix. There was no 2B Mindset. It was, here's the 21-day fix and here's the meal plan that goes with it. And it was a printed meal plan, and like I read it cover to cover when I first started, and it was a big book, and I followed it to a T for the 21 days that I did 21-day fix my first round. I gained 2 pounds, which I needed. Like, I wasn't here to lose weight. I gained 2 pounds that I needed. And I started to really learn, like, okay, you weren't eating enough. You weren't eating enough, and now you're at a good level. And I didn't like keep gaining 2 pounds. Like, my body was like, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. This is where I need to be. And I stayed that way for a really long time until I got pregnant. And then when I was pregnant and postpartum, I upped to the next calorie bracket and tried the next calorie bracket. Because if you're breastfeeding or you're pregnant, you need to have about 500 more calories, which will put you in the next calorie bracket. And again, I gave it time. Now, when 2B Mindset came out, I did pause with my Ultimate Portion Fix, and I did follow 2B Mindset for an entire month. I tracked my food religiously. I tracked my mindset around it, and I liked it just fine. But I hated that I didn't have carbs at night. Like, I hated it. I was like, it was dinner time and everybody else was getting a carb with dinner. And here I was with my veggies and my protein. And maybe if I had given myself an extra serving of the veggies and proteins, I would have been a little bit more satisfied. But my body was so used to 21-day fix, Ultimate Portion Fix, and was pretty happy with it. Like, there was no need for me to change. It wasn't like, I'd hit a hormonal level where maybe when I go through menopause later in life, or as my hormones continue to change as I get older, it might be a better idea for me to try Ultimate Portion, or excuse me, 2B Mindset again. But for where I was, 2B Mindset was just one of those things that I liked it. I loved Alana. She taught me kindness and she taught me patience, and she just taught me how to talk to people and coach people in such because let's just face it, Autumn and I, we're brash. We're to the point. We're in your face. We're like, that's who Autumn is. That's what Portion Fix is. That's who I am. But Alana just taught me how to talk calmer. And I can remember my coaching calls when I was doing 2B Mindset. I was so much nicer of like a just calmer of a person. I just felt like I was just more, and that was because Ilana, like I was fully immersed in listening and watching her videos every single day, that I just started to kind of mimic her. Like I was a chameleon to her. So again, there's nothing right or wrong with either program, but nutritionally, I do better when I have Portion Fix, when I'm just told like, this is how we eat, this is how much we're eating. And I actually do really well with the timed nutrition. So when you start to learn Portion Fix, you can follow it different ways. I believe this is in rail 3, maybe rail 2. I can't remember, but there's one called timed nutrition. And I do really well with timed nutrition. My body responds really well to it. It's when you're eating 5 meals a day and it's timed out between different times in relation to when you're working out. And I know if I really want to get my physique in a certain way, I need to follow timed nutrition, and I have to do one of our workouts. That's a 60-minute workout because I want to eat in bracket C because I love bracket C. Let's just face it, I'm in bracket B right now, and there are days that I am hangry. But I do it because I know right now I'm not doing a big workout. I'm not lifting heavy weights. My body does not need to be eating in bracket C right now, because when I was trying to do that, my belly was just bloating, and I was looking more and more pregnant every day. So I know what works for my body. Why? Because I followed it long enough, because I trusted the process, because I trusted the programs and I followed them to a T. Now, that might be really hard for some people. And I fully accept the fact that not everybody is going to like following a program. And you might find that you really do well when you start to eat a more Mediterranean diet, or you start to eat more pescatarian diet, or maybe you are going vegan. And I know a couple people who have gone vegan, followed Portion Fix within our community, followed Portion Fix, and it was eye-opening to them because of how much processed food they were eating when they were going vegan. So if you are trying to transition vegan, one, I highly recommend using Ultimate Portion Fix to try that transition. And two, if you're struggling going vegan, let's talk about an Ultimate Reset, because that cleanse teaches you completely how to go from clean eating to vegan. And you're going to lose a lot of weight. You're going to really increase your microbiome in your gut. You're going to really increase your level of just pre and probiotics and healthy digestive enzymes, to the point where you're just going to feel really, really good. But it is a little bit of a challenging program for most of us, because it's fully focused on food, no working out, just food based. So that's just something else. We're not going to get into Ultimate Portion Fix right now. That is something that I will probably be launching at the beginning of 2022 as a let's do this together type movement. Because I do want to do the Ultimate Portion Fix again. I did it last year between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I will never do that again. That was the dumbest thing I could have done. I mean, it was great. It was fantastic. I was feeling awesome at Christmas, but then Christmas Day hit and I was done with that program, and I was like, fucking feed me cookies. I was just like, I just want all of the cake and all of the cookies and all the pie. And I didn't have it because like I was feeling so good that I really didn't want it, but I did not transition slowly out of it to where I could actually figure out some of my food sensitivities. I will tell you, when we talk about nutrition, Autumn Calabrese is coming out with a new 4-week gut health program, and it is going to follow some of this. I'm very excited to try that when it comes out in March. I think that's going to be a really big game changer. But for right now, every day, basic eating, following Ultimate Portion Fix for at least 3 to 4 weeks, or following 2B Mindset for at least 4 to 3 weeks, and then getting back in touch with your coach and letting them know how that process went is so vital. When you're starting to track, I will show you on my phone. I should have brought my cord in here, but my phone and my computer have not been liking each other, to where I can I used to be able to share like my screen of my phone. But I'll just do this. I know it's harder to see, but this is your Beachbody On Demand app. So if you don't have the BOD app on your phone, just go ahead and install it. take out some apps that you're not using or mute the apps that you're not using. Clear up some photos, get some space on your phone, because this is going to be so helpful for your journey. But down at the bottom right, there's a tracking button. So I clicked on the tracking button and it's opening. And right here is where I put in my portion containers and how much I have remaining. And I track all of my meals. So this is today. I haven't tracked any meals, but yesterday I tracked all of my meals. And you'll see I'm not perfect. Let's see, I went over in one of them. I went over in teaspoons, whatever. I had an extra thing of almond butter. I don't care. And I was lacking a fruit and lacking half of a vegetable and half of a blue container, which like rarely ever happens. I'm pretty sure I shoved a whole bunch of nuts in my mouth at the end of the night. Because I'm pretty sure I meant to track that I ate like a handful of almonds and cashews and pistachios. So I track it in here. And all I do is I go in and each meal, I'm like, okay, I had my regular eggs, veggies, my vegan cheese, my sweet potatoes, and almond butter. That's my breakfast like every morning. Like I don't switch that up. And so I track that and I go out of it and I log out. Now, if I know what I'm having for dinner already, which most of the days I do, I can go ahead and track my meal 4 or my meal 5, depending on how many meals you have. Let's just say that you eat 4 meals a day. You have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack. So I can go ahead and go into meal 4 and track what I'm going to have for dinner. So tonight, for example, I know that we're going to have turkey burgers, and I need to know, like, if I'm going to have that tonight, am I going to have a bun, or am I going to need to do like am I going to need to do like a lettuce leaf because I've already eaten all of my portion containers. So I knew at lunch today that I wanted a bun tonight. So I knew at breakfast today, I wanted a bun tonight. I know with my snack, I want a bun tonight. Like I want a bun tonight. So I went ahead, I can go ahead and track meal 4. I'm going to have a serving of veggies because I'm going to have some veggies with my burger. I did not have any healthy fats this morning. So I didn't have any dairy-free cheese or avocado with my sweet potatoes and the veggies veggie eggs that I normally have. So I'm going ahead and tracking all of this for dinner tonight. So I'm tracking that I'm going to have 1 veggie, 1 protein, 1 carb, and 1 healthy fat for my dinner tonight, because I'm going to have cauliflower tots and veggies on my burger. And so that's my veggies. I'm going to have my turkey burger. I am going to have a full bun. I want a full bun, and I'm going to have a full bun. And I am going to track my healthy fats because I'm going to put some avocado on there. I'm going to put I have those guacamole packs. My guacamole pack, half of a guacamole pack is normally about a full blue container. So I am going to have that at dinner tonight, and I'm really excited about it. So I can go ahead and log that. And I know that, okay, I only have 2 yellow containers left. Well, actually I don't, because like I've already eaten those for the day. So once I start to track my breakfast and my lunch, I know I don't have any yellow containers for my Shakeology. So I know for me personally, I can't make a Shakeology smoothie bowl because I almost always add in granola when I do. I just need to have a regular shake, like a very plain basic Shakeology shake this afternoon, and then I'm done. And so by tracking, I'm able to go ahead and tell myself my limits for the day. I do typically like to track my dinner first thing in the morning, because I do typically know what I'm going to eat for dinner when I'm cooking. If I'm going out to a restaurant, I do typically like to look up my food first before I go, because if not, I'm really, really, truly too tempted to just eat what everybody else is eating, or to just order whatever I want. And now I give myself a ton of grace. Like, let's just be honest. My burger bun tonight, I probably should count it as 2 yellow containers, but I'm not. I'm okay with it. I'm going to track it as 1 yellow container. It's fine. It's up to you, and it's up to how you want to track. But because if I was following Ultimate Portion Fix to a T, like I told you I did in the beginning, I would be counting 2 yellow containers. But again, I'm at a different point in my life, and I am a little bit more lenient. And until I start to notice, okay, Tamara, you've been way too lenient, I'm okay with being a little bit lenient. So when it comes to nutrition and it comes to that mindset, that's where you want to get. You want to get to a point where you're like, it's fine. I can eat this, half of a chocolate chip cookie and split the other half with my spouse tonight. Like, it's fine. Do I want to track it? Sure. I want to track it because I just need to know. Like, I need to know that I go over in yellow containers, or just like when you're doing the To Be Mindset notebook, you're just tracking it and you're literally just saying, like, this is how I feel. Like, it's fine. But you just have to start to understand that if you don't track it, then there's no way of really starting to tell if you have some emotional eating patterns or you have some late night triggers that are always happening. Like you're just constantly always sitting down and you're just like, I just really want some popcorn. We're watching a show and I just really want popcorn. Did I leave like popcorn? I think popcorn's like 6 cups is 1 yellow container. Like it's crazy how much popcorn you can eat. Because Neil used to do popcorn when he had to fill up a lot of yellow containers when he was doing the Body Beast program. Because in that program, when you calculate for your nutrition, it's a lot, you eat a lot more food than any other program with Beachbody. But that's a total weight gain, strength gain, muscle gain program. It is for building muscle specifically. So again, it's just being really aware of where you're at, really aware of what your goals are. So me right now, my goal is just to be happy. My goal is just to enjoy my food, my workouts, my time, and enjoy my nutrition without feeling uncomfortable in my clothes. Now, once I start to feel a little bit uncomfortable, that's when I'll say, okay, how many cookies are you actually eating this week? Like, go back and look and see how many times you filled out a meal 6 and it was a dang cookie instead of like, okay, I got really, really, really hungry at night and I ate an apple. Like how many times was it a cookie? And so that's when I have to say, okay, I can't keep eating that way because I'm not feeling good with where I'm at. I'm not on a weight loss journey right now. So I am in a little bit of different spot than most people, but I want everybody to feel that good and that confidence of I'm really happy with where I'm at. Like I really am. Even if you're on your weight loss journey, I want you to be really proud of yourself for where you're at. I don't ever want somebody to beat themselves up for wanting food, for wanting that old pizza habit or that old chips habit, or even that old soda habit. Like, I don't want you to feel guilt about that. What I want you to do is just be aware. I want you to start to understand that there are healthier options for all of these things. For example, Neil and I still eat pizza every single Sunday. Now, what Neil has made very clear to me, he's like, our pizza is so different than most people's version of pizza. But because we've gotten used to it over the 6 years of eating pizza every single Sunday, we transitioned ourselves from eating, I can't remember what the first type of pizza was that we ate, but we started to then go to Papa Murphy's pizza, which was the take and bake, where they would make and put all the ingredients on in front of you. So you could say like, no more cheese. And you could say like more veggies, or everything looks great, I just want it all fully loaded the way you normally do. You had that option. And so we started off with that, and we would bring our pizza home. So it was like the full on dough, the full on pizza, all of that stuff. We were fine with it. We used to eat like 3 slices. And then slowly we started going down to 2 slices. And then all of a sudden we moved and we're like, oh shit, there's no Papa Murphy's anywhere near here. Oh no. And so we tried a couple pizza joints here that we were like, okay, well, maybe we'll like their pizza. And we're like, oh shit, it's $20 for a piece of pizza? Like for a slice of pizza, this pizza by the sea stuff? Like they bougie. Like I don't have $20 every week to spend on pizza. That's just not in my goals. Like it's just not aligning with where I'm at. So then we got creative and we were like, let's see if we can make a pizza. And so now we buy dough, and we don't make our dough yet. Maybe there's a day that we would, but we buy dough. We've tried a couple different types. Our favorite right now has been Banza chickpea dough, which we started off with using like regular whole wheat dough, but we transitioned over the course of 6 years to get to this place where I use chickpea pizza dough. I measure out my red sauce. I measure out like the olive oil that I put on there. We measure out a blue container, 2 blue containers of actual cheese, and we put it on there, just our 2 blue containers, and we measure out our protein and veggies. Like that took time, but we did it because it aligned with our goals of staying healthy, but still eating pizza. Now, do we go out and eat pizza? Sure. Neil actually eats pizza every Tuesday night at his church group. I do not. I cook home and for my kids, but if I ate pizza every Tuesday night, I probably wouldn't feel good. Like if I'm honest where I'm at right now, like my body has gotten so used to eating cleaner that it doesn't even faze me anymore when people bring pizza so I work at a breakfast spot, and occasionally we have some clients whom I love that have brought in pizza for some of our workers because it's a cool pizza. It looks and smells delicious, but like I actually don't crave it. Like I look at it and I'm like, I actually like am so surprised. I truly don't want any because I'm like, it doesn't appeal to me anymore. Now, when I'm out and we go to Pizza by the Sea, that really expensive pizza place, yes, I will eat a piece of pizza and I will be super happy with it. And I'll be like, oh my God, this is real cheese. And this is like a lot of cheese, like way more than I give myself. And then I'm going to the bathroom because I know it's not good for my body anymore. Like I like it, my body is literally telling me, we need to get rid of this like right now because that's what happens to me. And so it's just one of those things, but I allow myself to go have that moment. It doesn't always happen where I have to, go to the bathroom and excuse myself right away, but oftentimes it does. So your body truly starts to tell you over the course of time what it likes and doesn't like. And it all started with me using those little stupid containers and following them to a T and really giving it a solid try for 3 weeks. And after I gave it that solid try for 3 weeks, I remember telling my coach, Michelle, I was like, dude, Michelle, I like these containers, but I gave up alcohol. This was when the containers, you weren't allowed alcohol, by the way, when Portion Fix first came out. Like it was a glass of wine and it was like 4 ounces. And I was like, this is ridiculous. That was what you were allowed each week when Autumn first came out with the containers. I was like, this is just dumb. And I remember looking at Michelle, well, on a video call like this and being like, okay, like I feel really good. And like, this is really cool and all, but like, I just had a baby and then I breastfed said baby. So I've been giving up alcohol for a really long time because like I didn't drink very much when I was breastfeeding Braylon. Poor Alicia, she just got it all. That second child thing, whatever. I'm like, oh, I just had a glass of whiskey. I don't really care anymore. I'm just tired. You're tired. Let's get you to sleep. Like big difference. But when I was after Braylon, I really wasn't drinking. And I was just like, I just really want a beer. And I don't want to feel guilty about said beer. And Michelle was like, so don't. She's like, measure it out and just track it. She's like, measure it out like 4 to 8 ounces, track whatever you measured out and drink your beer and go on with your life. And that's when I was like, oh. And so while I would love for everybody to follow Portion Fix to a T for that 3 weeks, I also know that that's like not realistic for everybody for life. But I'm telling you, the longer that you start to follow these programs, the easier it starts to become to be like, no, I actually want to measure out my blue container. No, I actually want to measure out my yellow container of rice or my yellow container of corn or whatever it is that you're wanting to put in your yellow container. Or no, I'm actually only wanting 1 slice of bread instead of 3, like I used to have when I would go to Olive Garden. Like, whatever it is, you'll start to make transitions, but don't expect it all to happen fast. Do I think that if you do an all-in deep dive for 3 weeks, that it'll help? Absolutely. I really, truly feel like everybody should try it. Like all in, give it your all and bitch and moan the whole time. It's fine. You can tell me, you can message me, and I will say, I'm so darn proud of you, but stick to it because it's going to show you so much about yourself. And then go on to living your life in a way that makes sense to you. Now, if we're going back entirely to the old habits and we're not taking anything that we learned, then no, you can't go back. You're going to have to try it again and have to hone back in a little bit more. But when it comes to nutrition, it comes back to, well, what is my mind telling me I can do? And what is my mind telling me I can't do? Because when you focus on, okay, I just did 3 weeks of this really hard thing. I can do it. I didn't love every moment of it, but my gosh, my results were so good. That is such a positive affirmation for your mind to start remembering and to start redoing and reproducing, that it will help you to continue those habits further along your journey. Every time that you have a setback, it's going to feel less and less, and it's going to like occur less and less. So that's really what I wanted to share about nutrition. There are videos that I've done in the past that walk you through where to find everything in the Beachbody On Demand library. So if you need some of those, you can always message me. That's something that's pretty easy to start navigating. Once you just literally use the search tool that we have now and you search Portion Fix or 2B Mindset, it'll pop up. The BOD app is probably the easiest way to find everything. So the one on your phone. I use the computer a lot when I'm talking to people. So if you've ever chatted with me, I'm most likely sending you links from the computer because I can send you a link directly to, for example, the 21-day fix, and you can look at the 21-day fix nutrition plan. But if not, on your phone is the easiest. On your computer, just so that you're aware, on your TV, just so that you're aware, none of the program material is there. It's just the videos. So if you're like, I wanted to read the recipe, I wanted to read about the ultimate portion fix or read some of the program materials from 2B Mindset, it's not going to be there on your TV. It's only going to be there on your computer. But anyway, Tanya, anything you want to add? Anything that you want to clarify? Because I know you've followed some of this stuff on and off, and like you've had some other like revelations since starting.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
You're kind of going in and out.
Oh no. I didn't know that. Well, is there anything that you want to add or share?
Well, I personally like the 2B mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, because the whole measuring of the cups, I don't know. It just doesn't, it's not very attractive to me, I guess.
Yeah. And that's
it's kind of annoying to me.
Yeah. And that's how some of us are. And you've had success with the 2B mindset, right? Like share a little bit about like how that's helped you, because our journeys are different. And I've had a couple people that love 2B mindset.
Yeah, because I can just like look at my plate and then measure it that way. Like, okay, here's my proteins and then here's my veggies and my carbs and my fruit. And it's easier for me to just visually see it on the plate rather than portioning it out in a cup.
Right. And I know you've because you've focused on that, you focused on other nutrition as well. So like what's worked for you? Because even outside of Beachbody, like just what's working for you right now?
Yeah, which is like try to stay mainly plant-based.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that you've seen like the biggest changes with your body since then, right? Like you felt better. Just share a little.
Yeah, as long as I stick with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's really what it is. You know that it's just being aware. That's really all it is. And it's okay if you're at a point where like, well, I want to celebrate these birthdays and I don't want to stick with this nutrition for right now. And I think both Ultimate Portion Fix and 2B Mindset, I just saw where I'd like cut out, by the way, both of those programs, they have that option to like, hey, I need a break. What do I do when I'm trying to get back on? So they have little videos about those. And I think that that's super cool and super helpful. I know Nicole Harmon is one of the girls in our group, and she does a lot of the diet bets with, I think she's about to start one with Ilana. And so it's like, don't forget that we have like all these super trainers, they do stuff like within Beachbody, but they do stuff outside of Beachbody too, that you can get involved with. So if you start to really like somebody a lot, go follow them on social and see what they're offering, because sometimes like Joel's wife has her own nutrition stuff. And so maybe you're just like super obsessed with Joel Freeman because he's hilarious and super cute, and his wife is super sweet and super generous. And so you want to try her stuff. Whatever works for you is where you need to be. And so that's why I'm just like, you just got to try it. And then just like you said, when you're plant-based, you feel your best. I know if I eat about 3 carbs a day, when I'm not doing, like if I'm doing higher intensity, I can eat 4, but if I go above that, I am like, I literally look like I'm like pregnant. Like I look pregnant. Like it's just how my body is like, and it's carbs. Like, and I know that's why I'm excited about Autumn's gut health program, because I'm like, I am more than positive that I have some food sensitivities that I just haven't dove into. And one thing that I did look up was an online food sensitivity test from Everly. And so I'm thinking about purchasing it, but it's one of those things like I want the more expensive version, which is like $250 or something like that. And it's just at a point in my budget where I'm not ready to spend that. Like I just really can't spend that yet until we get over medical bills and stuff. So it's just one of those things like I know I'll do a real food sensitivity test, but until then, I know that I have other resources that can help me with my nutrition. So,
right.
Yeah. I think it's just being aware, and having the courage to try something long enough and stick with it long enough. So anyway, that's what I got about nutrition. Like I said, there's lots of different tools within Beachbody. I could dive into those. One of my favorite meal plans, I share this sometimes with people. One of my favorite meal plans from Beachbody is actually the Shift Shop program. So if you ever check out Shift Shop and Program Materials, the eating plan for that, Neil and I just really loved it. It was just clean eating, and the recipes were just really easy, like really, really easy and really delicious. So that's something that like, even if you're not following that workout program, if you just go and you check that out, it's really helpful. Clean Week is the same way. I think that the meals in Clean Week are really delicious and really easy to make. And so if you're just like, I don't want to track, I don't want to write it down, I don't want to do like, I just don't want to do any of it, but I want to eat clean and I want to have some recipes. I think following one of those two, Shift Shop or Clean Week, super basic, super helpful. Just anytime that you're like, I just need a break from tracking, whether that's writing down and looking at if you've been following 2B Mindset, you'll still look at your plate and be like, this isn't even. And same with me, like when I was doing Clean Week, I was like, hold up, did she just say I get toast and a sweet potato at breakfast? Like I can't have toast and a sweet potato at breakfast, can I? And I did try it and I loved it. I felt super happy about it. And then my body was like, you can't do this. Like you're gaining some weight, even though it's Clean Week, even though these are cleaner toasts and clean sweet potatoes and like it's cleaner food. Like your body does not do this, Tamara. Like I tried it. I really did. I was like so excited. I was like, oh my God, can I eat this many carbs? And I was like, no. Like a week later, I was like, okay, you're up 3 pounds. While that was delicious, I personally have to be very careful because I can really like, I can dive over. And I think too, because I was probably eating cookies that week too. Who knows? I don't remember. I do remember though being like super excited and then being like, oh shit. Like that went a little too far. So you have to just be aware. Being aware is really helpful. So anyway, that's all I got. That's all we got. So yeah, I'm happy to see you, Tanya. Great job filling out your tracker. Congrats on losing 2 pounds last week. That is awesome. That's so cool. I'm super proud of you. And we're just going to keep filling out those trackers for the month. Just make sure that if you can get so there's 4 different habits on there. And if you at least do it 5 days a week, each habit 5 days a week, that's when your name is entered into the $10 gift card giveaway. So just focus on that. And then I also put in there in the email that I sent today, there's a little like blank section and I meant to type in there. I just forgot your win for the week. Write in your win for the week in that little section. I totally meant to do that this last week and I just forgot to add it in there. So that way you just kind of start to remember like yours, you shared that you lost 2 pounds. And so it just will remind us to just keeping like every week there's something to celebrate, even if it feels like there's not. Just if you start to look at the positive and you start to look at the gratitudes, you'll start to see them more and more throughout the week. So, all right. We will chat later, girl.
All right. Bye.
Bye.